Well, hey, great time we had there. That was a really good session. Can you believe that crazy twist ending that I engineered? Awesome.
I
Well,
know.
we're gonna debrief and get out of here. Do a few outros. Tell the people. No, okay, just kidding.
2 sessions in a row without a roll.
What?
Wow, incredible.
That's the one part that's completely believable. I was about to tell you all about sponsors, and I'll do that quickly now. So we are sponsored this season by Christopher Gray, a lovely gentleman who is a great game designer, wonderful novelist as well, too, who is the author of The Great American Witch, Happiest Apocalypse on Earth, The Great American Novel, and all kinds of wonderful things pertinent to our interest here tonight. Our interest here on the channel, of course, is Great American Witch, which is Monday nights at 6 on this channel. Also, Broken Dice, Black Void Games, creator of this game here, Mighty Narwhal Games, Smunchy Games, Evil Hat Productions, who make all kinds of wonderful things, and we much appreciate them. We are also sponsored by Grinding Coffee, which I'm going to drop the link for in the chat there. Grinding Coffee, I finally did it, and I got it. Grinding Coffee is a Black LGBT plus owned coffee business that will send you delicious beans for making bitter bean water directly to your door. And I got a bag, a 1 pound bag of their Cowboy Blend beans, like the day, I think it was last Thursday. So like I wanted to have it on stream last time, but it was the day after I got it. But I've already had way too much coffee today and I'm not having any more. But that was some really good bitter bean water, and I recommend it highly. Cowboy Blend. If you use the discount code Penny for a Tale, you will get 10% off. So do it. And the last thing, I've already forgotten what it was. There's another sponsor that has already left my brain. Lydia just told me. There it is. Dice Dungeons. Thank you for that, Anna. Much appreciated. Yes, Dice Dungeons. We are also sponsored by. Likewise, if you're looking to get dice and dice accoutrement, go check out Dice Dungeons. Use discount code Penny for a Tale, and you will get 10% off. Okay. So with all of that in mind, let us do our intros here and get to know our crew. Let me begin up at the... I don't feel like I start with Wally enough, so let's start with Wally. Ready to take a drink, of course. Sorry.
Yes, I took a sip right there. Sup, y'all? It's me. It's me, Wally, your non-binary slime, that if you give them a bag of potato chips, they'll share it with you. Because, they can't eat all by themselves. And, that's what potato chips are for. I am playing
This is my new favorite thing about your intros, by the way. I love this. Because I get to play with Wally multiple times a week, and I always get to hear something that they will share with somebody. And it's the sweetest thing. I love you so much.
Just a sweet slime.
Excuse me. Yeah, I'm a sweet little slime.
Sweet slime.
And I am playing Oshan, the sweetest little shark boy you could ever meet, with he, him pronouns. And he's having a day. So let's see how that day ends up for him.
Everyone's having a day. But yes, you especially are having a day. Capital D. All right, down below, Wally, is our dear friend Stella. Who you playing, Stella? And how you doing?
Hello. I'm doing very well, thank you. I am Stella Luna here on Twitch, StellaLuna_TV on Twitter. Today I am playing Yara. Yara is a half-blood human, half-alien lizard lady, and she recently was kidnapped by the ocean, and now she's back, and there's a lot of stuff going on. Oh, it's coming back now. Yep. That's the thing. Oh, we'll be fine.
Did the pain of last week just catch up with you?
Yeah. Wow. A lot happened, didn't it? Everything's gonna be fine. Manifest.
Yeah. Manifest. Everything will be okay. And everything just got a little bit better because we've already hit our first retweet goal. Thank you for those 20 retweets. Chat, y'all are amazing. Chaos Chorus coming through clutch as they always do. So that will help out your Voidfarers. You just earn them all a boon. Writing that down in my notebook of doom, and we will come back to that later. All right, let's go over to Liv. How you doing, Liv?
Hey everyone. I'm hanging out. I'm doing good. I'm doing great. I'm not Sanha, like personally, so I'm doing better than she is, but I am playing her. I will be playing Sanha today. She is a half-blood human as well, but we have the land, we have the sky, we have the sea, and now we have the sky. And I'm half bird. I'm a half column human person. I'm the commander of this ship. Which means I'm going down, because this ship is going down. This is not going too well for anybody. And I will go down with this ship.
I will go down with... Oh, wait, no. Copyright. Okay. All right. Commander Sana, like everyone else, is having a day, but you're holding it together all right. Doing okay. That was... We had a really nice cathartic shouting match last time. So.
We did. Things have gotten out of the way. Things have been cleared up, and I didn't have a void demon invade my brain, so I don't think I'm doing it that bad. Other people have it worse.
Anna will remember
Speaking
that.
of.
Hi, everybody.
Speaking of.
I'm Anna.
Yeah,
I play Zohar, the character who has the void demon in her head, and now apparently is sharing with the class just like a fantastical, annoying, shadowy umbral infectious disease. Zohar is she is not smart, so she is confused as to why this is happening, but she is also extremely upset and is not just having a day. This day is the cherry on top of a decade of not knowing what the hell is going on. So she wants answers.
What's going on? Man, I got music on the brain today. You just made me think, though, since Wally is such a good sharing person, would you share your void brain parasite? Man, he's thinking about it. That's weird.
Maybe? No. Look, if I'm not going down by myself. If I got a parasite in my head, I ain't going down by myself. I'm taking people with me.
I was hoping you'd
There
say
you
that.
go. There you go.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Well, we'll see what happens.
All I'm saying is
Otherwise,
Olivia
you're just
Benson's coming with me.
We will see, indeed, what happens.
I got so scared for a moment that you were trying to say something about me, because that is my full name, and I was like, whoa, not me. Sorry, pal.
Oh, wow. I just noticed something. Tragedy has struck.
What?
Unless I'm missing something, the snap filter that I use for the Void Demon isn't there anymore. That sucks. Huh.
That's not fun.
That's not cool.
Well, that isn't great.
Do you have it, Anna? Do you not
Nope.
have it either?
Nope.
Well, I guess
send
that
you
answers
something,
that
though.
question.
I have a suitcase full of backups, so I'll send you one.
Okay, I got some options. I could
maybe
use, but
maybe
I
the
really
void
like that
demon
one.
Evolved a bit.
That's always a possibility. If I hadn't already used this one, I would just go to that, but that's kind of claimed by a creepy creature back on Amber Ocean. Anyway, so let us begin, as we always do, with a wee bit of recap about what's been going down. Last episode, the party escaped from Amber Ocean at the end of the prior episode, and got back into the void, just trying to get the hell out after a somewhat kind alien species that had apparently been touched by the void urged them to go and to leave this prison planet. They escaped with Oshan's childhood friend Drakan, but upon getting further into the void, found that Drakan had opened the window, the one thing you're not supposed to do, and was nowhere to be found. Oshan broke down, rightfully so at that. But it led to a pretty lovely bonding moment between Oshan and Sana, who comforted him, and even there was a hug. It was wild stuff. Also, a whole bunch of revelations all sort of came to the fore at once. Navari found Vax, the void puppy that Yara smuggled onto the ship. Zohar also came clean with Navari about everything that she had learned regarding the previous crew of the Sentinel that had gone missing, and the disappearing planet. Things that Zohar wished Sana had told Navari a long time ago, but she never did, so it fell to Zohar for that task. This whole multiple unfolding revelations led to a big blow-up shouting match between basically Navari and everybody else. But Navari, things were eventually sort of papered over well enough, and Navari expressed her respect for Sanha, something she is loath to do, but nonetheless did. And Navari revealed that you all had received another communique from your handler, Aaliyah, back at the Todd Consortium. Aaliyah told you that there is a new planet on your itinerary. Yara, being the brilliant codebreaker lizard that she is, immediately saw through the code in the letter and saw that that Aaliyah was telling you that this planet that was just added to your itinerary is the planet where the last crew went missing. And that the coordinates for that planet were in the Mind Nebula. Unfortunately, the only way to get the coordinates from the Mind Nebula into your navigator's brain was for the Mind Nebula to meld with Weaha, which Zohar and Navari realized just too late was a bad idea. And we heard that ever familiar voice of Zohar's Void Demon tell them that it had claimed
another one.
So, we are actually going to begin a little bit away from the action tonight. We're going to start not on the Sentinel, but back on Ahinar. We see now an overhead shot above the Todd Consortium estate, the same place where the Voidfarers here had a bit of a fancy party the night before that they left. We zoom in through a window to see Aaliyah seated at a table, poring through books. She has these old, dusty ledgers laid out on this table, looking through line by line. It's a lot of technical-looking jargon, a lot of strange markings, mathematical equations, lots of coordinates. It's something that most crews would not be, or most people would not be able to make head or tail of. But she looks through this complicated, overwrought book and no, throws it aside, picks up another one, flips through a few more pages, looking for something. The door behind her into this little library where she sits opens, and a column walks in. This is a middle-aged looking column, very bright blue plumage, very thin, spry, stands up straight, wears the traditional golden robes that are common to the column of Ahinar. And this person simply walks in the room, leans against a bookshelf, and watches. It is some time before Aaliyah feels those eyes boring through her. And as she turns to look back, the column turns without a word and walks back out of the library. The column walks down the hall, past several other of its kind. Various shapes, sizes, presentations, but they just all make eye contact as they pass in the hall. We see from outside that window of the library where Aaliyah sits, there is a column on the other side over a courtyard in a window looking out straight at her. In the window above that column, there is another one standing in the window, staring at the window where Aaliyah sits. And as our camera follows around the halls, we see that all eyes are in some way directed toward Aaliyah. And as that column, the first one that entered the library, enters an office further down the hall, he opens the door, and we see Kalakune Kutad, the head of the consortium, behind his desk, who stands as this column enters, looks at him, through him. Very plain, expressionless, emotionless eye contact. And we hear Kalakune say to the other column,
"What does she know?"
We will return now to the Sentinel. Weaha has just had the tentacles from the Mind Nebula wrapped around his neck, held fast to the sides of his head. He lets out this horrific, whining scream. His whole body tightens as if he's been electrocuted. You hear that voice in your head, Zohar, as Weaha collapses on the floor. The Mind Nebula retracts its tentacles. Navari looks to you, Zohar, with horrible fear in her eyes. She tries to form words, but can't make it. She recognizes the gravity of what you just did, what you all just did. Weaha, meanwhile, is doubled over on the floor, his head over his eyes, or his hands over his eyes, curled up in a fetal position. You can see his chest rising and falling. He's breathing. But he is in shock. And as he rocks back and forth on the ground, he mumbles to himself incoherently. Soon we're gonna be enlightened. We're all gonna be enlightened. We're all gonna be one of them. Every one of us. We're all gonna do it. It's gonna be you and me and all of us.
Sanha is
I'm gonna
going
go
to
over
walk
to him.
Yeah.
Oh, yep. Okay.
Both of you can do that.
Both
It's
can,
fine.
Yep. We're both
Yeah.
going.
And like Sanha kind of like shares a look with you before walking over and kneeling down, and she's not gonna reach out and touch him because that might be a little much at right now at this time, but she is going to lean in Weaha? Weaha. Weaha. Wait, Weaha. 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 Please. Please.
And
It's
he drops his hands a bit and looks up at you, and his eyes are just, they're just larger than you've ever seen them. It's just wide, staring. His pupils are blown, and his eyes are red and welled with tears that are just streaming down his face, and yet his expression is expressionless. It's like he's showing this outward, like almost automatic outpouring of emotion, but at the same time he looks like he's not feeling anything. And he looks up at you and just says, why did that happen?
I don't know, and I'm so sorry. I had no idea this was gonna happen. If I had known, I wouldn't have.
What is it? What is it?
I
don't
look
like it.
over at Zohar.
I think it's the thing in me. Can I try to help you?
He recoils when you say that. In fear. Please don't.
Weaha, Weaha, it's Zohar. Zohar would never purposely hurt you. Ever.
I don't think so. I believe you, but y'all didn't do this to me on purpose either. So.
No,
that is
you're
unfortunately fair.
You are absolutely right.
Why don't we? Oh goodness. What can I do for you? I don't have any connection to that thing. I've never been touched by it before. What can I do?
I don't know. I don't know what it... It's so loud, man. Shut up. I'm actually gonna roll for Weaha real quick.
That's not concerning.
That's not good. He puts his hands over his ears. It's too loud. It's too loud. How do you make it stop? What do you do? How do you make it be quiet?
I don't know. It's different with Navari than it was with me. It's different. I don't know.
Make it stop.
There's something I could try, but I don't know if it's gonna work. I don't want to hurt you anymore.
Yara just suddenly leaves and she skitters away towards her room.
I don't think Weaha sees you go. I mean, Navari probably tracks you, but Weha's caught up in himself right now. Doesn't say a word as you leave. What would you like to do, Yara?
So Yara, she goes back to her room and she'll grab the singing stone that she has.
Okay.
She'll pick it up like very carefully. I imagine like she has to kind of move between various plants that are in little pots and she'll
Mhm.
find the stone. She'll hold it very carefully. She skitters her way back.
Yara with the biggest brain.
By the time you get back, you see that Navari has kind of helped Weaha to his feet and gotten him in a chair. And he's just leaning forward, and his little legs are hanging off the edge and just dangling in his chair, and he has his arms folded in his lap, and he's just kind of, it's like the tears have subsided, but he's just staring blankly. And every so often he just kind of goes like, stop it. Oh man, that hurts. That really hurts. But God, I know where the planet is though. I can still help. I'm still useful.
You've always been useful, Weaha. You're the best navigator I know.
You don't know a lot of navigators.
No, but are you going to doubt my opinion? If I say you're the best, then you're the best.
Yeah. 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 Thanks.
And if I say that you're going to be okay, then you're going to be okay. I promise.
Okay. Maybe it'll wear off or something. Or get
Maybe we
bored
can
and go
fix it.
somewhere else. Oh.
Well, we can fix it.
Okay. Okay. Um, I'm and he looks to Navari and Zohar and says, I'm not mad at you. I know you didn't mean to. I'm not angry or anything. I'm just scared. I'm just a little scared.
We all are. And like I kind of glance over at Zohar, who is not okay, if I may be so bold to say that. Sanha, God, there's just so much physical affection for her. Sanha reaches out and kind of like starts rubbing Weha's like shoulder and back. And just, we are going to be okay. We are going to figure out what our next move is, make that move, and we're going to get you help.
All right.
Zohar
So,
is... I've heard of other people being touched by the void. It's not impossible to live life like that, and even still, like I said, we will fix it.
So does that mean I can like lift stuff with my brain now, like Zohar?
Maybe you can lift yourself and like levitate everywhere.
Oh.
I know that like you sat on Oshan's shoulders before. Now you don't even have to do that. Now you can be taller than everybody else.
Yeah, that's not nothing, right?
No.
Yeah. think it's just maybe I'm just, I'm such a good navigator. I've been in the void so many times. Maybe the void's just attracted to me or something. I don't know.
Maybe. Meant for each other. All this time you've been exploring the void.
Or perhaps through all of the enlightenment you have achieved through medicinal plant usage, the void views you as a perfect vessel for them.
When you say the word enlightenment, Navari's eyes widen a little bit, and she says, "Oh, no. Weaha will not be enlightened. Don't wish that for anybody." Do you know what you mean when you say that in this context, Oshan?
Well, no. I mean in the fact that Weaha is, he's achieved a certain level of thinking that and viewing of problems that normal people wouldn't view them.
I don't disagree with you, but it is possible to become truly enlightened, with a capital E, if you will. In my profession, among mystics, the enlightened are those who fully understand the void. That's a tall order, and imagine, if you could, our home planet, Ahinar, right? It's a complicated world. There's cities and people and rivers and roads and trees and Salacians, column, humans, all living together on this complicated rock, almost like one organism. Above it, there are stars and other planets in the area, and if we journey beyond that, there are more stars and more planets and all manner of celestial bodies. And if we go further, there's innumerable of those all swirling around in this blackness, and between each of those bodies there is vast, dark nothing. And imagine, if you could, being able to look at all of that. All of it. Every planet, every star, every person, every insect, every grain of sand on the beach of every world, and understand what it all means. To understand how every one of those things impacts every other one of those things. To understand that on the galactic scale, on the universal scale, as well as you understand. What do you understand? Weaponry, I suppose, in your case.
Well,
martial arts,
actually,
something like that.
I'm actually I'm very proficient in painting, but go on.
Okay, that's even better. Yes, imagine understanding that as well as the worlds that you create in your art. That's the closest analogy I can get to what it means to be enlightened. To understand how the void interacts with our world fully, and to understand what it is. I make no bones about the fact that I am absolutely nowhere near that level. And there are few who are, and some claim that it's impossible. There are mystics, though, who claim to achieve enlightenment. And when they do so, they cease to be. They cease to be people in the normal sense. When they achieve full enlightenment, I believe, I should say, it's shades. I'm certainly a bit enlightened, and then I can manipulate the void. Zohar is as well. But it is a matter of degree. And the far end of the scale, I don't think it's a terribly pleasant place to be.
So, if one were to become this enlightened state, would they lose their physical form altogether, or will they still look like themselves, just, well, not themselves?
I don't know.
You should not even ask this question. This is something that you only think that you want.
I know I don't want it.
I apologize.
Roshan.
It's not...
Trust me, it's just better that there are some things that you will never have to know the answer to. Just trust me.
I see. I apologize.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to cause a rift. I just wanted you to understand what that means to me and to Zohar as well. It's a very particular thing, and yeah. It's just, I suppose I should be out with it. Ever since this thing entered my mind, I found myself thinking of enlightenment quite a lot. Pondering the concept more than I ever did. It's a very intrusive thought that plays on me quite a bit these days. Zohar, I don't know if you've experienced something similar.
Yeah, I have.
I see.
You know, there's... I don't know what goes all into training mystics. I don't understand what's happening now, but there are rules where I come from about what happens when the void reaches out to touch people and what you can and cannot do surrounding that. Those rules exist for a reason. Even though it breaks my heart to follow them every day, the rules exist for a reason.
What happened to you, Zohar? If you don't mind. I want to understand. I'm not passing judgment on you, Zohar, but you are the patient zero. If we know what it is, if we understand what it is, maybe we can do something about it. For all of us. She looks down at Weaha and puts her wing on his back and just rubs between his shoulder blades.
It was 10 years ago. really late night in summer. It was warm and humid. I was walking through the orchard near to where my family lived, just taking in the night. I could hear the kids playing just outside of the house. And I was taking a minute to myself. I'd had a bad fight with Tala that day. Needed to just wait a little while for our tempers to cool off, and that was when I saw it. This giant whirling thing, like a black sun, way up in the sky. I didn't know what it was. There's no way, I don't think I could have known what it was. I've tried to see if that's something that I should have known better, but I didn't. And I looked at it. And I saw things in there. Next thing I know, I hear the sound of a bunch of people screaming, yelling, making a commotion, and feel myself moving around like somebody else is piloting me.
Okay.
I don't remember a whole ton of the days after that, but my people have rituals surrounding what happens if you're touched by the void. So they told the kids that I had died. They gave me enough supplies to get to the nearest big city, place where I could just blend in and start a new life. And they told me never to contact home again.
So one of their people was hurt. It went through a traumatic experience and they just throw you out?
I mean, there's a lot more paperwork involved than just throwing someone out.
Don't be glib.
I mean,
It looks bad on you.
Yeah, you don't pull it off as well as we do.
Sort of our thing. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I was raised by the
Navari's
column.
mind, there was a... Oh, sorry.
Yeah. I was raised by the column. That's fucked up. That's one of the most fucked up things I've heard of a family doing to their people.
Pains me to say this, but I agree with the commander.
They told
and they
me.
didn't do it out of cruelty. They did this because they needed to keep the rest of everybody else safe.
Zohar, you've never been a threat to us.
Never.
Okay.
Then why is Navari slowly turning into whatever this is?
Okay. So
That
sometimes
is what's
you do
bothering me right now. Actually, Commander, if I may. This is what's bothering me about all of this. That it's if we perform the proper procedure to provide Weaha with the coordinates. That was part of procedure. This is things we have seen in all of our lessons in basic boot camp when it came to being a void farer. This is procedure.
Weaha's done it before.
Exactly. Then how did this get involved in that? Something. This isn't just accidental. I feel like something is pulling the strings here. The ship returning with no pilot. People just disappearing on this planet. And now this? I refuse to believe this is just a simple, coincidental line of occurrences because of you, Zohar. I refuse to accept that. I know this is not your fault. Someone else is at fault, but
I'm not sure.
I will take some blame. Well, look, I will accept blame for what has happened to Weaha. I melded with that mind nebula. Whatever you gave me, Zohar, I believe I gave to the mind nebula, and then it passed it on to Weaha. I believe I was the vector. The question that's bothering me, though, is why now, Zohar? The story you just told, that was 10 years ago. You haven't spread this to anyone in 10 years.
I don't
Why
know
now?
if I have or not. Oh
That is a fair point. You lived in a city?
But it sounds like it's not just so easy. It's not as simple as brushing hands with somebody. It sounds like there has to be
might be,
some
though.
sort
There are
of...
rules about not touching people.
But
I
what
didn't,
are your
I didn't
rules?
go out. I didn't go out and try to join minds with anybody that I met. I didn't even know that was something I could do until I had a teacher.
A teacher?
Yeah. There was one more there was one more of the void marked man that I found in the city. He taught me how to... Oh, none of you were there. I did this thing at the beginning of when we all got chosen for the mission. You know, making things levitate, move around. What I was thinking might help was I don't know, trying to use what he had taught me how to do to manipulate the void, but I don't think that I should be doing that, actually. Yeah.
But let's look at everything. Let's look at the path. Weaha mind melded with the mind nebula, which has connected to Navari, who connected to you. And that is how, you know, we spread from patient zero. And this is the first time it seems that anything has happened. Zohar, we have sparred with you before. We have shared meals with you. I've probably bumped your hand while I was reaching for the salt. I don't think that I know for a fact that this is my mind and my body. There is nothing else calling the shots for me. So I don't think it's just as simple as being touched. I think that there's some sort of literal mind connection that must be done. But the void is so vast. I think Oshan has a point. I think that there is possibly a much larger game being played here.
But why, though? What? Why? Why any of it? Why Zohar? Why Navari? Why us?
Zohar,
why
do you have
me?
any?
I stopped asking why.
Well, I just started. It's not something I normally ask, but now I'm asking it. I didn't do
Not very
anything.
No.
helpful.
I'm not special. I'm just like a good navigator. There's nothing special about old Weaha.
Best
But
navigator.
that's
this
it.
way, huh?
No, exactly. That is it. You're the navigator, Weha. Weha, our whole entire course relies on you. You are incredibly important.
So does that mean that Weha is now going to lead us like lambs to the slaughter? Is that what
No,
happened to the ship?
I don't
No.
think that. I do know is that this next planet we go to is the planet where all of this happened, where the entire crew went missing.
So, like lambs to slaughter, who's to say that this void creature or whatever didn't play a hand in that too?
That is honestly what I am feeling.
So we're not going.
I am of the opinion that if we want any answers, that is the only place we will find them. There would be, unfortunately, extremely more efficient ways to deal with us if ending us was the intention. Why a ship? Why a crew?
A ship full of
Yara
people
speaks
that
true.
travel. It's it's like that one woman at the party. We're just carrying disease. We're just going from planet to planet, and anytime Zohar potentially connects mentally with anybody, one of us or someone on that planet, then another seed is planted. That's why. That's why a ship.
You think
That's why a crew.
You think perhaps, for some reason, someone's plan is that Zohar is here to be a vector for these planets we go to. She is to spread. Oh dear.
And if
I have
she
a
doesn't
question.
spread, then
I didn't know any of this. You have to believe me, I had no idea
so
We believe you,
any
Zohar.
of this
Zohar.
was going to happen. I would
Zohar,
never
I
have
don't
come on a
believe-
ship if I knew this was going to happen.
I know.
Zohar, we believe you 100% with that. We know you had no involvement in this at all. We are not pointing fingers at you. It's just now the most obvious information has been put right in front of us. Someone has been pulling the strings on all of this since the beginning. Someone who knew about your condition, and they took advantage of it.
Zohar, I don't trust many people at all. I think everybody has an angle. You're probably one of the most honest people I've ever met. I don't mistrust you at all.
It is true.
I heard Stella say I have a question, so I get that.
Yeah, I have a question. No, don't be. So, were there many people like Zohar back at the Todd Consortium?
So there are other obviously there's other void marked out there. That's like not a
Yeah.
totally strange thing. Zohar is not like one of, only one of a kind. There are other void mark people. As far as the question of like, do void mark traditionally get assigned to ships? You don't know.
Through our training, did we encounter other people that were void marked?
I'm gonna say that Zohar was the only one in your class.
Okay. If you look at this statistically, it is very unlikely that things were put together like this deliberately. I think that perhaps someone took advantage with information that they might have gathered about us. I do not think it was orchestrated from the very beginning. Perhaps an opportunist instead.
Who would want to do this though?
Zohar, you mentioned that when we were doing our interviews, you showed off. Is that correct?
Mm-hmm.
Did the Todd
was-
Consortium
Yeah.
know before that moment?
That's a very good question.
I don't.
Did they know? Did you tell anyone?
No.
Then we
Oh.
were set up from the beginning.
The only person that would have known day of was, and you can correct me if I'm remembering this wrong, but Kalakune Kutad. He was in the
Yeah, he saw it
exam
firsthand.
room.
Yeah. Oh dear.
Well, I guess I'll say it. I hope we're all on the same page here because, once again, we're making very powerful accusations.
Yeah.
Now, we're all in agreement here, correct? Kalakune Katad. He set us up.
I'm not ready. I'm not ready to go that far, Oshan. I
I am also skeptical.
This still just doesn't make sense though, because, well, Yara, what were you gonna say?
I'm skeptical. We do not have enough information.
Yeah.
It's not unlikely, though.
No, we do not. We don't know
I'm
anything yet.
I don't think it's any secret to any of you that I do look out for the interests of my employer, but I'm not I'm not so smitten with who I work for that I would sit here and tell you that they could never do anything wrong. I'm not dismissing the possibility out of hand. I just don't believe it yet. We need to know more before we can make an accusation quite that powerful.
I agree.
Do you
However,
think that it is within our ability to perhaps investigate and escape if things look dangerous?
Well, we do have the best navigator in anywhere.
And we do have a ship.
Yeah. Well, at least one thing we know for sure. I suppose, from what you've told me, the crew may have disappeared, but the ship came back. So, guess the Sentinel's made of tougher stuff.
So what, do we just become like void pirates?
Oh my.
And Oshan holds up a finger like this.
Sanha reaches over and puts his fingers down.
And as soon as you say void parts, Navari just says, no.
I think by now Yara has like just kind of skirted along the side of the room and is like standing near Weaha, like just kind of very gently touching his back with the stone.
Yeah, yeah.
Yara.
And just like, so
I
it's
love
like,
that it's not giving it
the
to
stone
him.
is
It's
like-
just like
yeah, it's like the size of your
Evolve,
fist, I believe I
Clefairy.
said. And you just put it like on, like put it like in your hand, and, like press it to his back.
Yeah, like rubbing
kind of thing?
small circles with it.
Oh, it's like a hot stone massage. He visibly loosens. He was bound up like a tight little ball, and he visibly, like, his muscles slacken, and you can feel, because you have your hand on his back, You can feel the rise and fall of his breath. And you can feel that it slows. And he's breathing much easier. And you hear him say, "It's going to be okay." And he reaches up with his little arm and takes your hand over his shoulder.
Yara will gently clasp her other hand on top and just rub his palm with her thumb. She very quietly purrs.
I think just I think he might lose himself a little bit here. The relaxation and like that kind of affection, he just kind of like leans his head back like on your arm, and he has this look of just contentment. Just
Yara will be careful not to overdo it.
I think he even starts to nod off a little bit.
That's when she kind of pulls back a bit and she says, "So what must we do?"
I can get us to that planet.
I guess we're
I can
going.
find it in my sleep now.
Do you want me to try and talk to it and see if we can figure out what to expect there? I can't promise anything good's gonna come of it, but
You want to talk
I mean,
to
you
it?
said you've spent a lot of time now asking why. Maybe it's time.
yeah, maybe.
I don't have to talk to it, do I?
I don't think so, not unless you want to. Navari, you haven't had to
Nope.
talk to it when I talk to it. Yeah. It's really just more of an acquired taste.
Okay. Give it a try, I guess.
All right, you can come out now.
Hello.
First of all, would you mind telling me exactly what the hell is going on with you jumping out of my head and into other people? That is not how this works.
This is how I work.
No. No. You live inside of my head now. You don't get to do things without me. I take you everywhere. You completely upended my entire life. You took away everything I loved and cared about. There is no "this is how I work. This is what we do together." And I am saying you cannot hop out of here to get in other people's heads. I won't allow it.
I was not asking your permission.
And what happens to you if I go, get off of the ship and stay on that planet forever, far away from everybody else? Do you die then because you can't have anything else to spread to? Because I'll do it.
I suppose we'll spend a lot of time together. But that will not be the end. We are already out there. We have already spread. We
What
will
do you
not be
mean
alone.
you've already spread? What do you mean you've already spread?
You know.
You've been using me this entire time?
No. No. You don't understand.
No, I don't. Please tell me. Tell me why this is happening.
I will try. Do you begrudge the birds of the fields because they eat insects? Do you begrudge the carnivores of your planet because they hunt the herbivores? Do you begrudge flowers because they grow upward toward the sun? Do you begrudge the barnacles that cling to the bottom of your ship? Do you begrudge the large fish that eat the small fish that eat the algae that feed off sunlight? They are all just doing what their life cycle demands. There is no cruelty. There is no malice. There is no hatred. They are doing what they were born to do. And so am I. And so are you.
No, I did not.
You were chosen. The void touched you. You had a life and it is gone. This is what you are now. This is what we are now. You and I, as one, spreading enlightenment throughout the planets and the stars. This was the fate that was chosen for you.
There's got to be some way to stop this from spreading. I don't expect you'll tell me what it is.
Good.
If
As
there
long
was
as our
what?
expectations are aligned. If there was, would I tell you? No, I wouldn't. I don't hate you. Do you hate me?
No. That's the problem. You don't hate me because, to you, I'm an insect getting stepped on your dust-covered road on the way to somewhere else. I don't hate you, I'm afraid of you.
We fear what we do not understand.
I fear what
I do not begrudge your
see.
fear either.
I fear what I see causing suffering and harm to the people around me, especially when that thing is using me to do that.
We do not wish to harm anyone. You must
But
judge
you are.
intention. So it is.
What are we going to find there?
You'll see.
I will not ask you again. What are we going to find there?
Answers. Maybe not the ones you wanted, but the right ones. Life is often like that. Have you learned yet the truth? Do you understand yet? You, of all people, should know. You, who have lived and endured so much suffering, should know. You can cry all you want. You can shout your sentimentalities into the stars. The universe does not care. Your suffering creates no sense of obligation in the stars. The universe cares not for you at all, Zohar. Your sense of injustice is misplaced and delusional. Space does not care. But the void cares. The void cares very much. Take care of yourself.
Navari, as this conversation concludes, Navari puts a hand to her head. Did you make it angry? Oh, it's getting loud again.
It says we're going to find answers when we get there. That was all I got.
That was all.
It just said a lot about needing to live in complete life cycles and how we're all just insects being eaten by birds, and the void cares but space doesn't care. Didn't tell me how to stop it, didn't tell me how to change it, didn't tell me anything.
I didn't think it would just give you the keys to the kingdom. Zohar, I just want to understand before we go forward. You've lived with this for 10 years. And what you have to show for it, as far as I can tell, is, other than your mystical abilities, your eyes, and now your hand. I've had this for days, and my feathers are already turning into metal. It just feels like it's moving faster than it did with you. And Weaha is like feeling his chest. That's weird.
What's weird?
What?
Something in my chest, it feels hard.
Feels hard how?
And he wraps his knuckle on his chest, and there's a little metallic ping. And it's right
Yara,
about where his
I'm gonna
heart
have
is.
you.
Whatever this is becoming aggressive.
I don't know what to do.
Well, we do know one thing. We will find answers on that planet. And we need answers.
I don't think we're going to find the answers that we want to find.
Oh, it is not going to be the answers we want. None of the answers we're going to get will be answers we want at this point. We just need answers right now.
Navari is sort of reaches into her robes and is just running her kind of feathered fingertips on an amulet that she wears. And she says, I don't normally like to talk about these things, but it's a very private thing for me, but do any of you pray?
I do.
Yeah.
I have.
No.
Yara or Sanha looks at Yara. Yeah.
I pray
I actually
to
feel
science.
like Yara and I'm just picturing this like anytime I've been like the awkward atheist kid at the saying grace at the table, like I feel like Sana and Yara just gave the same answer, but Sana gave the diplomatic version of the same exact answer.
Yep.
She's like, I have, which means no.
Oh man. So
Sanha is
Yara-
100% the kid who was raised religious, then went to university and came back and was like, so let's talk about energies and spirits. Like, let's talk about, just these ideas that are really just all one and the same culturally.
Went to college, came back as
What
a
about Yara?
Cottage core Wiccan.
Oh yeah. Yara's all about things that she can feel, hear, read about.
Mm-hmm.
It has to be tangible. It has to make sense. She doesn't believe in hearsay. And right now, her eyes are very wide, and you can tell she's kind of panicked, but she's visibly trying to rein it in. And in her brain, over and over, she's just thinking, we need to quarantine this. We need to quarantine this. We need to quarantine this. But she doesn't say anything.
Interesting.
Oh boy, howdy.
Navari says, I'm not trying to impose. I do actually take... my mysticism isn't just utilitarian. There is a spiritual element to it, and I do take it quite seriously, actually. So I was just going to pray for all of you, if that's all right.
Anything will help at this point.
Couldn't
Of
hurt.
course, I would be more than happy to pray for you. Actually, I pray for all of you that the great nurse Shard guides us on this trip. But of course, yes, I'd be more than happy to pray for you.
I will listen if it will make
She-
you feel better.
It's nothing. It's
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 okay. We
silly.
don't want you to feel awkward about your beliefs. Your beliefs aren't silly. If you're going to be confident, you have to be confident in every single part of yourself, including your ideals.
Well, I don't know if I 100% agree with that, but it's not silly if it's important to you. And it's not hurting anyone, so
It's just, I was hoping one of you could give me a suggestion. Not about what to pray for, I think that's pretty obvious. Deliverance from this horrible situation would be a good thing. But, what to pray to? Normally my prayers are directed toward the void, and, I'm not feeling very religious at the moment. So...
Oh.
It sounds like if the void wants to carry us out of deliverance or whatever, the universe doesn't care, but the void does.
Well, if I may put my opinion on this, my religion states that the void is represented by the great anglerfish, the luring light in the depths that draws us in close. And if we draw in too close to the lure, the void can consume us. However, the great nurse guides us through the depths to guide ourselves away from the void and through life, as she protects us as we swim through the ocean of life itself. And eventually, at the end of our days, we will be guided to the great coral reef, where when we eventually all die and our souls go there to reside and relax into the end of our time. I could pray to the great nurse to protect us and guide us as we go to this planet, and guide us away from the lure of the great angler. But suppose that's as most I could do in prayer-wise.
I feel like Navari probably, her face goes through several different versions of like, that's the craziest shit I've ever heard in my life, but is trying to be like very respectful and keep it, but she doesn't have a great poker face. But by the time you're done talking, I think Navari is just accepting of understanding that you are, trying to be helpful, and says, "Yes, Oshan, I would like that. Would you do the honors of leading us?"
Oh, yes, of course.
Before he starts, Sanha takes Yara's hand because she knows that Yara's uncomfortable in this situation.
Yeah, Yara looks really uncomfortable, but like inside it's for a totally different reason. But it would totally make sense that she comes off this way. She just kind of like looks at Sanha and squeezes your hand back.
Yeah, Sanha's completely misreading the situation. She's just like, oh, Yara's just uncomfortable, but like, it's fine, like, I still go to church with my family, like, we can do this, we'll be in this together, and is like holding onto Yara's hand.
Is everyone standing in a circle? What is going on exactly?
Roughly,
I think
Weaha's sitting down.
Okay, because Zohar's not in the circle. Like, she's gonna be, like, around the periphery, but she's not holding hands with anyone right now. She's still gonna
holding
listen
Yara's hand.
No. Okay.
Yeah, no one offered a hand.
No.
I was like, this isn't like a Lord's Prayer situation where it's just like,
Oh, no.
Okay, I was just checking. Okay.
What do you think this is?
Father,
A school
what the
football locker
actual
room in
fuck?
Alabama?
I'm screaming.
Okay, cool.
That was
Real story.
let's-
I was taught the Pledge of Allegiance at a Christian preschool. So I, for many years, far too many years, thought genuinely that the Pledge of Allegiance ended with Amen. So that's where I'm at.
Oh wow. Damn. Yeah, and I spent 3 years of my life suing schools that forced kids to pray, so that's also a true story.
That is the tightest thing you've said since I've been your friend.
And that's why these Colin suddenly doing weird religious role play is weird, but go for it, Oshan.
Okay. So Oshan, what he does is, at first, he speaks in a language that sounds musical. It sounds like all of those ocean songs you hear. That's the sound. He opens his mouth and he starts making that noise, like the sound of like a whale singing. And it is not like just random notes. It sounds very like a song. Like it is almost like a song of reverence that he's giving to this ocean god that he worships. And then after he's done with that, he then says, and with that song, we pray to the great nurse of the sea, that she will guide us away from the void, away from the lures of the great anglerfish, and always keep us into safety. And he nods as he finishes.
Can I ask a quick question? Oshan, did you have like eyes shut or something like that while you were saying this prayer? Like,
He did.
okay.
He did.
Yeah,
Why do
so
you
Zohar didn't
ask?
close her
Is
eyes.
this going to be
and
another
she's
one of
just-
those? I was going to say, is this going to be another one of those do demons breathe moments I'm about to get?
No. It was a lot
Okay.
more. It was a lot less esoteric than that. I was just gonna say, like, she does not have her eyes closed and is just watching Oshan, being like, "Damn," while this is happening.
Yeah, I think the besties have their. Sorry, I think the besties also have their eyes open.
Yeah.
And I think
Yeah,
Weaha
that was
definitely does too.
Tight as hell.
I was gonna
Yeah,
say, like, the
Yara's,
last
like-
time Zohar.
Like her pressure sense, like she has these little frills. They like stand up from the vibrations of Oshan singing.
Oh,
Yeah, the last time
that's also
Zohar
very cool. The
heard.
picture, but very cute.
The last time Zohar heard that was Oshan was still a kid. And so she's having all kinds of mixed emotions about that right now.
Yeah, it was last time you heard that, Oshan had a little tiny nub of face according to the picture you sent.
I know.
So funny.
Just
So
like
funny.
So this is a
Also
great scene to
saying that,
picture,
like,
though.
I love this.
This is a great.
It's also
this is
very
a great
funny
scene.
to picture like Oshan as huge still as a child.
He was the runt too of the litter.
I was the
Yep,
runt.
but he's still like 7 feet tall as a 5-year-old.
Mhm. And Diesel.
The little tiny voice, like, see this big, huge, 7-foot tall Diesel guy, like, excuse me, who lives here? Well, my mama lives here.
Just like Van Damme meets Mickey Mouse. But this is a
Cursed.
cursed. This is a this is
hate
a
it
fine
here.
scene to. This is a fine scene to picture though, because Navari and Oshan are taking this very seriously and have their eyes closed. And I think maybe Navari even does hold your hand, Oshan. Like I don't think there was an offer for a circle, but I think she does take a hand with you, and because she's feeling it. She needs something really bad right now to feel better. And the two of you close your eyes and pray, and everyone else is just kind of looking around like, what? But you know, two different forms of togetherness in their own way. Yeah, Weaha is just like.
Yeah, Sanha's looking around at everybody like, did you know that he could do that?
Definitely picturing this as like
actually.
Tibetan or like Mongolian throat singing that he's like doing now.
Yeah.
It looks like he's doing Mongolian throat singing, but it just sounds like the sound of a whale singing kind of thing, like a whole big pod of whales singing.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of terrifying.
Isn't it though?
And Navari, when you finish the prayer, Navari looks at you, Oshan, and she smiles and just says, "Thank you."
You're welcome, Navari. I hope it gave you the stability that you need right now.
A bit of peace, yes. You're very kind, and I don't tell you that often enough. So, thank you.
You're welcome.
So, Weaha, are you feeling up to it? He kind of perks up a little bit and says, yeah, I can get us there. No problem. And no big splashdown landing like last time either. I got these coordinates down in my brain. I know exactly where that void tear is. We're gonna be fine. What I will say though, if I'm reading this right, that planet is a border world. Meaning it sits...
Borderworld.
Yeah. It's, you know how... Back on Hazy Eden, there was that void leak that was causing things to get weird?
Mm-hmm.
It's like that. But a lot more. It doesn't necessarily mean...
Mm-hmm.
Well, it doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be extra dangerous. It just means it's going to be unpredictable. That's the most important thing you can understand about how the void works. Is it's not always trying to kill you. It does what it do, and you don't always know what you're going to get. So it's a bit of a wild card.
We should have an escape plan.
Yeah. Well, with the coordinates I got, when we touch down, I think, with a bit of help from Navari and maybe Zohar too, or maybe even me, now maybe I can do cool void stuff now too, I don't know. I think between at least the two of you, the mystical powers that you can do, you might be able to just basically pick the whole ship up and throw us back through the void tear if we need to get out of there quick. Kind of an escape plan.
Kind of.
Don't worry about it, okay? Y'all are professionals. You know how to survive the void.
Professionals.
Yeah, well, you're in charge.
I don't like this. I'll be honest. It makes me nervous.
Yeah, no, it's shit. Yeah, it's super shit. But... And Navari says, no, I hate it as well, but... Begin making preparations. Commander, there is one thing. Bit of a sticky wicket. Should we send word to the consortium of where we're going?
When you send word, do you send word to Aaliyah? Or do you send word to everyone?
All of the communiques have been addressed to Aaliyah now that she is assigned as our point person.
No, but we don't know if
And I think that we should
we can
encode
trust
something.
anybody within the consortium.
Encoded.
Zohar?
No.
But we don't know if we can even trust anybody within the consortium. We should have a backup. Just in case, so that they know what happened. I think I have somebody.
somebody?
Yeah.
Who?
What do you mean you have somebody?
I have my husband.
I thought you're not supposed to be talking
Your
to
hus-
anybody from your village.
Yeah. Them's the rules, right?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. But he's not related to any of this. Still on Ahinar as far as I know. Or at least he was the last time I heard from him.
He is. It was in your personnel
What?
file.
Really?
Oh, you didn't know? Yeah, no, he's... I read your personnel file, so... yeah, he's still there.
Was... Well,
Yes.
if he's in my personnel file, then we know how to contact him.
There is the small matter of how.
There's got to be some way that we can send a message, even if it takes time.
Yes, Zohar, there is. But if this... We've been doing it, and Aaliyah has been sending physical messages through the void with the Mind Nebula. Which is at least, I realize now, reassuring that she has been using physical messages. Which I find, and have found, to be very, very strange and out of the ordinary. But that means that she hasn't melded with the nebula.
Important.
I had questioned
should
up to now
include that.
why she was doing that, but perhaps that is why.
We should include that in our
Just-
coded message.
Tell her not to meld with it.
Tell her not to meld with it and ask her why she never has. What does she know that she hasn't already told us?
Good. Yes. Good.
Commander, and Navari,
Yes.
does
Yes.
the Tau Consortium view us on a time schedule?
Not as
I don't
such.
believe
No.
so.
No, the mission is concluded when the planets have been explored. These things do take time. There's no hard, fast limit.
Good. That means we can send out this message and await a response and not have to be under the pressure thinking they're wondering why we haven't reported to this planet.
Fair. So we send a physical message and enclose something for... It's Omar, isn't it? Well, Zohar, that's... seems very personal. So if you wish to compose something in private and bring it to me, I'll make the arrangements.
Right.
And you better believe that in between episodes, I'm going to ask you to write that letter and tell me what's in it. And you better believe that you're going to do it because I know you and you've probably already written it.
Why do you want to make Anna cry on screen more than they already
I
have?
Telling
Because
Anna
deep
to
down
write
she
a
really
letter
Yep.
is not an ask.
You gotta understand,
They've done
it
it
was
already.
pretty much... Yes, exactly. It was pretty much a whole, like, Ozymandias situation. And it's like, oh, you think I haven't wrote it? I wrote it 30 minutes ago.
Yeah.
You think I'm not
I mean,
sitting
I
here with
know
this
that.
whole ass notebook I fill with stuff between... Yeah, no.
Listen. I know this, but we can at least pretend like Anna's not that person for like 30 seconds and let them have dignity.
Eh.
Eh.
Yara will look at Sanha. Sanha, do you have a knife on you?
Sorry, I'm breaking down on a molecular level. What?
Okay. Does Oshan have a knife?
I mean, yeah, always, but
Okay,
Okay,
so
we're never
Yara-
asking Yara to pray ever again.
While this whole conversation is going on, Yara just kind of like looking at Sanha up and down, looking for a knife, can't find one, and then like lets go, walks over to Oshan and just like pulls out the knife, like just takes it. I hope that's okay with you.
that's fine. Yeah.
Okay, and then she just like climbs under the table in the mess hall and she starts scratching something onto the bottom of the table.
Stella, don't
Get
scare
the
me
big
like
brain
that.
on Yara.
Big brain time.
That's why she
think-
got them big old eyes and that big old head.
Phew. Big brain.
I think Navari
Brain.
definitely has a big brain. I think Navari definitely has a like, what are you doing? What do you, and like looks under the table to see, what are you writing?
So as she's basically trying to carve a message that says like, look between the cupboards or something like that. And she, as Navari's head kind of pokes down, she says, we are going to leave a message into the ship in case something happens to us. The ship came back, the crew did not. We need to leave some kind of warning.
Okay.
Incredible.
Okay.
She's incredible.
That's-
This is why she's one of the best in our graduation class. She's
Wasn't the top though.
no, but one of the best. We know who is top. But I don't need to rub it in people's
you?
faces. Yes.
Do you know?
Yes.
It was Sanha. I know
Okay.
it is Sanha.
Thank you, Yara. Oh, Sean, are you okay?
I have moved past that point in my life. Thank you.
Yeah, just keep swimming,
I'm
buddy.
going to compose the message you asked and get the Mind Nebula out. Zohar, come to me when you're ready. And Weaha, I suppose it's time to go to work. If that is your command, Commander.
Yes, that is the best call.
By your leave, Commander. And Navari helps Weaha stand, and then he's a little sluggish, and he went from real tense to real relaxed really fast, and he's just a little bit jello. And she does actually extend her hand out, and you see Weaha start to float. And she says, see, there you are. You'll get used to it. He's like, whoa. And she floats. She walks out with Weaha floating next to her as he's like running in the air. So we're gonna get.
I have a
okay. I just
quest
want to
out
ask
for
really
the
quickly.
Chaos Army.
Oh yeah, Chaos Chorus. Yeah.
Yeah, it's the Chaos Chorus. A request from the Chaos Chorus. Can someone please draw a fan art of Weaha posing like Mario on the cover of Super Mario Brothers 3, flying as Navari was floating him? Thank you. That's all I would like.
Shameless,
Void
truly
smoker if you're
shameless.
out there. So, just so you know, we're moving toward getting to the planet now. If there's anything else anyone would like to do, shout it out. If you got some scenes you want to do, any business you'd like to attend to.
Yara eventually leaves a knife in some random place.
Rude. He takes the knife back and is kind of like, she could have just given it back to me, and slips it back into his where he keeps his knife.
Sean, Sana, Zohar?
Sanha is going to go up to Zohar. Because we haven't bullied Anna enough tonight. Because we truly haven't bullied Anna enough tonight.
Hold on. I love that. Where would you like this meeting to take place? Like right here in the mess hall where you all are, or sometime after?
Alone. Sometime after alone. So if anybody wants to go ahead beforehand, go right ahead.
Yeah. I got nothing off the
Do you have
top of
anything,
my
Oshan?
head.
The only thing Oshan is going to do is that he will walk over to Zohar and he just says to her, I never understood why you left, why you stopped coming by. I thought it was something we did, like we upset you or something, but I apologize that you went through this.
Thank you.
And he kind of looked unsure what to do next, and his big old hands like pat her on the shoulders, like in a weird hug kind of way, like yes. Once again, I am sorry. And he walks off to go prepare for this final trip.
I think right behind Oshan, Yara's like standing, so once Oshan's gone, Yara comes up to Zohar and she has both of her hands just kind of clasped on her chest, and she just kind of stares at Zohar for a second with wide eyes. Then she says, Zohar, I wish you were my mother. And she'll just scamper away.
Just scampering in here, dropping bombs like that.
So, Liv, you gonna bully Anna also, or?
Yeah, so let's get to the
'Cause,
bullying.
Yeah.
I don't know. No, not us being alone.
Later on, in Zohar's cabin.
I think like a couple of hours have passed, like at least like an hour or two. And Sanha goes and knocks on Zohar's door and steps back so that when Zohar opens the door, she'll just see Sanha standing there at rest. So like technically relaxed, but still like, you know, physically upright, hands behind her back, shoulders rolled back, chin up high. Waiting for Zohar to answer the door.
Commander?
Zohar, as commander, I wanted to check on you. It's an important part of my task as commander to ensure that every member of the crew is well taken care of in a okay state and mind. So
I'm not really sure how to answer that.
honestly, I want you to answer honestly.
Not in a great state of mind, but that's not any of your doing.
No, it's not. But I can care.
I know you can. I know you do.
Yeah, I do. Zohar, you said that the night it happened, you were fighting with Tala?
Yeah.
You called me Tala once.
I did.
We don't have to talk about that. And I know I can be a bit abrasive, and I'm fine with that. I live my life like that. People should be uncomfortable, at least around me. But I hope that I don't make you feel uncomfortable.
No. Oh. Never. No. Oh.
Okay.
You
And
must
you
have
just see
been
like
so
Sanha like
worried
actually
because-
physically relax.
You must have been so worried because I said that when I was mad at you. Come in. And I'm just gonna like motion for you to sit down on the bed.
Oh boy. I come in and I think Sanha's like very hesitant, but eventually like sits on the bed but is perched on the edge.
As I was saying. Tala is great. She's smart, she's passionate, she's driven. She also has no chill whatsoever. Everything with her is we go from 0 to 10 at the drop of a pin. We did not always get along well because of that, especially because when your kid is 14 and they think that they know everything, you know, the last thing that they want is some old lady telling them what to do.
I can relate to that very well. Which makes me think that maybe your daughter and I, or Tala and I, wouldn't have gotten along very well. I think we are a bit too
Probably
similar.
not.
No.
Although I don't know. She's probably mellowed some. Maybe you will too.
I'm about the same age as her. So.
Mm-hmm.
But then again, I think your whole family is human, right? Like, you come from a human settlement.
Yeah, they're all humans.
It's probably has some. Yeah, she probably has mellowed out. I don't know if I have, but that's neither here nor there. I just really wanted you to know that I don't blame you. Nobody blames you.
I appreciate that. I just I still feel like this is my fault.
I'm here to tell you that it's, even if it is your fault, nobody's blaming you. Maybe not fault, but I think you're complicit. I think you're wrapped up in it.
Yeah, there's very little doubt of that in my mind. That can I ask you something?
Mm-hmm.
If we get to this planet. And it looks like something's going haywire with the void. You know, if the crew's in danger or I start acting weird. Just get out and find the new home.
Okay. Just because I know that any version of you that is causing such severe harm is not really you. And that if you were doing something terrible with no repercussions, no hesitation, no even attempts to stop or to help other people, then it's not you. You've been completely lost.
Good. Well, then I guess we'll see what happens when we get there.
Hopefully, I don't know. Maybe we do find a good planet. And we do get to stay.
That'd be nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Would you like to find out?
Is that
Why does
you
that feel
saying
like a
that as
threat?
the GM or as the void demon?
In my Peter Baelish voice. Would you like to find out?
The thing is I don't think there's a difference. I don't think that there's a difference between the two.
I am, in fact, a void demon.
Yeah. Good boy.
Let's bring the whole family back in here
Mm-hmm.
as we prepare to emerge on the border world.
Ooh.
So Weaha comes down, tells everyone to brace for landing. It's not going to be a rough one like last time, but it is going to still be a sudden stop, so hold on to something. And he says, looks like it's another, well, not, it ain't like the Amber Ocean was where it's just all aquatic, but it's going to be a lot of water, so we're going to be sailing for a bit. So, good news for you, buddy. He looks at Oshan. And I can't wait to get out of the void, because this thing is really, really fucking with me. So, let's do this, all right? Old Weaha's going to get you there. Get yourselves cozy. I'll be on the bridge. There is the... If you've ever... I don't know if I've used this metaphor before, but it's one that I just always think of with the void. I really don't know why, this incredibly specific one. But if you've ever gone roller skating for like hours, like roller skating around a rink or something for like hours and hours and hours, and then you take your skates off and try to walk and it just feels weird, that like it feels like you should be gliding but you're not, and like you don't remember how to walk properly. Every time you exit the void, it's like that feeling cranked up to 11, and not just with regard to walking, with regard to everything. You're existing back in space again, and where you were just existing in the void is not space, and you move through the two fundamentally differently. Very suddenly, you feel that shift. It's something you feel in your stomach. It's an internal feeling that suddenly you just know. You don't have to look out a window. Not that you should, but you don't even have to. You know you're not in the void anymore. And the ship, the Sentinel, is now just kind of listing sort of lazily, and you can feel it float. There's some, you can hear the sound of some choppy waves striking against the side of the ship. And you hear Weaha just shout down from upstairs, like, "How was that for a landing? Nice!" Weaha still got it. Navari gives a little golf clap. And Weaha comes downstairs and knocks on everyone's cabin. Hey. Still got it. You want to come up top and take a look at what we got here?
Yeah, let's go look.
All right. Maybe bring something, just, you never know with the air, if you got something to cover your mouth, or just in case.
Yeah, I really do never know with the air.
Tell him. Get him.
So, I need Commander Sanha to roll a d12.
Woo! Any modifiers?
Just a raw d12. Nope. This is a
Raw?
luck thing.
Oh
Raw.
boy. 11.
Straight no chaser.
Straight no chaser.
So Weaha's walking up, leading you. He's like, "Yeah, so like I said, this looks like it's a border world. So, you know, whereas like Hazy Eden had like a void leak, think of this place more as like half of it's basically in the void. So it's
I love
pretty
that.
intermingled."
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought if I told you that in those terms before, you probably wouldn't want to go here. But it seemed important that we do, so I gave you the softer version. Hope you're not mad at me about that.
Weaha, I think with everything that you've gone through, I'm legally not allowed to be mad at you.
I like that. That's good. Let's go with that. So, right, border world. That does mean that it's not consistent. So, atmosphere can change. Gravity can change. The passage of time can change. The void does this.
Okay.
Yeah. It can get a little weird on a border world. So, for example, we don't know when we go out there if the atmosphere, he like opens the top hatch. We don't know if the atmosphere is going to be, oh God, oh, shuts it. That's not good.
Well, now we know.
Oh, dear.
So for future reference, there is a table on a D12 roll. On an 11 to 12, the atmosphere is toxic. It could have gone better, but you rolled an 11.
Unbelievable. Truly unbelievable.
But it changes every few, within game time, you know, every X number of minutes or hours. So it could get better.
Well, Zohar does need to write that letter, so I guess we do have a little bit of time to wait it out.
And remember, we are not on a time crunch either.
No.
Weaha wraps a rag around his mouth and his nose. Just says, "All right, well, we should at least look at what we got. Let's go." And he goes up to the top deck. Go ahead.
Oh yeah, no, Sanha, like, I was just gonna say, Sanha gets like a cloth from her room.
Yeah, Oshan grabs a cloth, also puts it over his face, and goes with them.
When you emerge on the top deck, you see that you are on a somewhat calm, mostly calm, just some waves of a sea. The water is red, more of a deep maroon, not quite sanguine, but a deep maroon crimson-y color. And there are occasionally, you do see the white of foam as waves break unlike Amber Ocean, which was just water as far as you could see, there are lots of rocky outcroppings that jut up all around here. There are these big, long, kind of sharp-looking shipbreaker rocks right not far that Weaha's like, oh, yeah, gonna want to avoid that. Okay. And you see there is, not far, probably only, like trying to do nautical distance. It's several, I don't know, maybe 1,000 yards. There's
Knots? Is it knots?
Is it not a measure of speed? Whatever.
That's for speed.
Yeah.
I know boats.
About 1 league away, there
Yeah,
is.
league.
Sure. There is an island. It is just a spit of rock, these tall, sheer rock cliffs that are covered atop with these dark green and brown mosses that grow all around, all down the side of these rock faces. And there is a small beach at one end of it. Most of the island is just this big sheer rock cliff you can't really possibly climb. But there is this one area of green and a sand beach. And you can see clearly they stand out against everything else. All the shapes around you are organic shapes of rock and moving water. You can see just all it is just overcast gray sky over the top. And silhouetted against that, it stands out very, very, very sharp. The wreckage of several ships. Some more intact than others. Some look like they've been here a long time. The wood is rotted. These large galleon-like vessels, much like your own Sentinel. These big wooden sailing ships. Many of them are just rotting. They're reduced almost to nothing. But there's one that stands out among all the others because of how fresh it looks. It has very little damage on it, and the sails of the ship are still flying. They haven't been rotted away or rent by the high winds. They're still intact. This one apparently hasn't been there that long.
Does it look like it's, run aground somewhere? Or is it wrecked on rocks? Or is it just moored?
It's run aground. It's run aground
Okay.
on that island, on that beach, yeah.
Does it look like our ship?
It looks just like your ship. Like, same make and model.
What?
I
It
pushed the wrong
sure
button.
looks like a Todd Consortium void vessel.
But does it look exactly like the Sentinel?
Like, does it say the Sentinel on the side?
Can't read
Yeah.
anything from here. But it sure looks a hell of a lot like the Sentinel.
Oh no.
If I didn't know
Wally
better,
gives you meat. Yeah.
that looks like an exact double of our ship.
Is that the double, or are we writing the copy?
Or how many are there?
Oh shit. I can't get too close to that unless we're gonna break up on those rocks, but y'all can take the rowboat if you want to go check it out.
Yeah. You should keep the ship as far away from the island as possible. That's definitely
Is the
for
water
sure.
All right.
toxic?
Oh, Sean, you know
That's a good
if
question.
the air is toxic,
It's true.
But that can change. The water, I don't know.
who's to say that? Yeah. I think that we should cover up, we should get in the rowboat and we should all go together, especially because, I mean, we see those rocks, but that's all we see. We don't know what's underneath that. You're not getting in the water.
Make sure that Vax can't follow you.
Where is Vax?
Where? Yes, that is a good question.
You don't know.
Somebody in chat asked that a minute ago. Godfather asked
Where's
that like
Vax?
at the top of the stream.
Yeah,
Where's
Godfather
Vax?
went, oh, what about Vax?
What about him?
Important questions. Oh God.
That is a very important question.
Oh no.
Yara
Stella, I think
would
you had
like
something?
to. Yara would like to try to get a rope and feed it through the through like a window being cracked open or something, trying to keep the minimal
Mhm.
toxicity out. And she'll feed it until it gets into the water. So wait like 10 minutes and then pull it back up. And then with the soaked end, she's gonna put it in her mouth. So I have a thing.
Have I ever told you you're my hero?
So I have a thing. I have acute senses with taste, which means
You do
I have
have cute
sensitive
senses.
taste buds. Thanks. Extraordinary
just a
sophisticated palate. I can discern if
Mhm.
something is poison or toxic.
Okay. Okay. Cool. Cool. Love that. So, Yara, you throw a rope down into the water to let the like hempen rope absorb the liquid. That's what I gather your plan is, which is
Yeah.
cool as hell. And as you wait, for it to come up, you feel the air here. If you've ever been somewhere on a coast, like on the East Coast, maybe in New England, in late fall, early winter, or just anywhere where you're near a large body of water and it's cold, the air is humid. It is that wet cold where the wind combined with that just cuts right through you. The air here is extremely humid. It is very, very moisture laden, but it's also cold. And just standing there holding the rope, you start to find, I mean, I don't know if you're actually cold-blooded, but your teeth are starting to chatter by the time that rope comes back up. And when it comes up, you see that it is soaked. It looks like you just dipped like a cotton swab in red wine. The whole end of the rope is stained dark red. And do you like check to see if anyone's watching you do this? Or is
Oh,
this just
Yara
what
doesn't care.
I don't
She
know.
just sucks on the
Okay.
rope.
Sanha in the
You
corner
s-
is fighting the strongest urge to just rip it out of Yara's mouth, but like sometimes Yara just puts things in her mouth and sometimes she puts them in her mouth because of science, and she's hoping that this is one of the scientific ones.
Oshan is watching this with the utmost seriousness here because if this is water he can swim in. Oh man, Yara, do your fucking science and figure this out for me.
We're doing this for Oshan.
Gang, gang, gang.
So you kind of suck it out of the rope and swish it around like Listerine. And like I definitely picture Yara kind of like gargle it a little bit. And
Absolutely.
thank you for going along with me on that. And you spit it out, and it seems you can get that it's like a high. Yara. I mean, you're brilliant. You get the full. I think you get like the full. What's the word I'm looking for? The full kind of like compositional breakdown of this thing on like an elemental level. There's like a high alkali water.
Like a
It's-
pH
it's
test
laced-
with my mouth.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, oh, there's like, ooh, phosphorus. Okay, that might explain the color. There's like a high iron content, which is probably why it's red. But none of this is toxic.
Yara will explain to everyone in extreme technical terms and with a lot more information than is necessary and say, so therefore it is not toxic. Oshan, I believe it will be safe for you.
I'm picturing you writing this down on like a whiteboard like, at the very, very fill like a whole whiteboard at the very end, like there go, ergo, not toxic. QED.
Underline.
Underline many times. Well, it does, just in case anything does happen that I do need to swim in the water, I will, but let's use the rowboat as the commander has instructed us. And he will head over to where, like, is it? I'm picturing this kind of like one of those like drop boats that you see on the side of like a large like ship, like one of those drop like
That's
wooden
exactly
boats
what
that
it
just
is.
drops
Yep.
in. Yeah. So
like a lifeboat on the side. Yep.
So yeah, Oshan pretty much does like the usual like safety checks and everything to make sure that the ship is ready to go. And he will head back inside, grab a couple of knives just in case, and then head out to the ship, getting it ready.
Yeah, and
Okay.
Zohar's got her sword as well.
Weaha helps you all ready the lifeboat. And as you're getting ready to go, Navari comes topside. She has this really, really like finely embroidered scarf over her beak and runs over to Zohar and just says, "Before you go, do you have your message completed?"
Yeah. And she will pull it out of her robe and hand it over to Navari.
Thank you. Thank you for trusting me.
Of course.
Not, of course. I think we've learned that. It's not a given, is it? But I appreciate it all the same.
You're welcome.
Be safe.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
Navari,
she kind of... yes?
if we do not come back, can you water my plants?
Yeah.
Okay. She just turns and leaves.
Navari is like... eh. Okay.
Sanha gives Navari a look, a silent look. That's just like, those plants.
Water the fucking
You hear-
plants.
You hear Oshan yelling from where the lifeboat is at. Did you ask her to water the plants for you?
Yes.
And then
Yes,
that's
I'm
when
going to
Navari then
water-
sees Oshan going,
Okay, what are the plants? Right, fine, good. Okay.
Oh, I love this crew.
Navari walks back down below deck, getting ready to send the message, but just with this look of... Our camera follows her with this look of bewilderment, like, why are they all so big on the plants? What is with the plants? Whatever. And we see her return to her cabin and place these two envelopes, one for Aaliyah, one for Omar, in the clutches of the Mind Nebula. We return to our crew. Who wants to row? This doesn't matter that much, but I'm just curious.
me.
It's got to be Beefy Boy, right? Yeah. Oshan. You row the boat with your comrades in the back. as you pull, you start to notice you're leaving a wake behind. Water is splashing on the rocks, and there are many rocks. You do have to kind of have a little finesse to avoid them. But there are splashes coming up in the water where there are no rocks. And you swear you just see something breach the surface and then slip back down below the waterline.
Do I see like any kind of like a dorsal fin that, or any kind of recognizable thing that breached the water that would I would recognize as what kind of fish life that could be, or what kind of aquatic life that could be?
No. Roll awareness. Get one roll in this game.
Is the water murky?
It's like rowing on red wine. It's dark and red color, so it's pretty opaque. How'd you do, bud?
I got a 10.
A 10. Okay, no, that's good enough.
Yeah.
You don't see a dorsal fin, but you see something pop up that looks like a tentacle arm. But slightly translucent, like a jellyfish. And then you feel a little scrape along the bottom of the rowboat.
We are not alone in this water. There's someone or something is currently stalking us, testing out to see what we are. So right now, keep calm. I try to pilot us to the rest of the way to the ship, but just be ready in case something does breach the surface and attack us.
I owe you a boon. So, this was going to be an encounter, but it's not going to attack you right now.
Mm-hmm.
But you just can see, as you row on, that this thing, you can't make out its full shape. You just see little flashes of it come up from under the water. Just these kind of grayish, black, translucent tentacles, jellyfish-like tentacles, that pop up here and there and never fully surface. You can't make out, it's some kind of, it seems like a real globular kind of shape, but you can't make out what it is. And it's definitely following you. It's definitely trying to get some kind of read on you. But it bides its time and waits. And Oshan, it's a nervy, teeth chattering journey. It's also cold. It's wet, cold wind. It is a nerve-wracking, freezing journey to get to the beach, but you do get there without major incident. This thing does not attack. And as you pull up onto the beach and drag the boat up, you are now only a couple hundred feet from this wrecked ship, this one that caught your eye. And from this distance, you now can see that written across the hull is the Sentinel. And believe it or not, that's not where we're going to end. There's more. Keep going.
Okay. So I continue rowing, and I kind of like, I don't slow. I guess I would say I slow down a little bit, and Oshan just looks at the ship and the name, and his eyes widen as he looks at the others to kind of see what their reactions are.
I hate it when I'm right. I'm always right, and I hate it.
Well, you're not always right, but I moved past that part of my life. But no, this is quite troubling.
What do you do?
Do we want to search over and see if there's anybody inside? Anybody who survived whatever this is?
I think that's a good place to start. I would rather start on this Sentinel than and on this beach than go explore the island, because my fear is that these are all Sentinels.
Mm-hmm.
What does the topography look like? So we do have the beach, but is it like beach for miles? Does it go up into...
No, it's a very short beach. It's a very short beach. It is only probably 100 yards of beach, football field length of beach, and then it gets into a short bit of shrubs and small plants, and then cliffs. 100-foot tall
rocky
cliffs. Big rocky cliffs. So not a lot of real estate here. Mostly it's the beach.
Is it mostly rock, or is it dense vegetation?
On the cliffs itself, it's pretty much just rock and moss.
Okay.
Lots of moss.
Okay.
Are there any
Osana, roll that
birds?
d12 again, real quick, by the way.
Oh, me?
There are no birds. Sana, roll the d12.
Okay.
What you got? A 4. The air suddenly feels heavy.
Like we can't breathe it heavy?
No, you can actually breathe it quite well heavy.
Okay.
But just feels like swimming as you walk through it. Like one of those days where it's so humid that the air is like a force field you walk into. It
Also,
is
Yara's thriving.
thick.
Oh,
Yeah, Yara's loving it. Except it's also cold. But it's the air feels thick, and as you breathe in it, you feel a bit lightheaded, all of you.
Weaha would love this.
Well,
Can I taste the air?
say
Yes. You get the briny, salty taste on the air from the sea. It doesn't taste much different than it did a minute ago. It's just like something is missing now. The toxicity has faded. Did I hear a vote for checking out the ship?
yeah.
I would like to check out the ship, but also, Yara, is there a way that you could run some kind of analysis on this ship? See if it either is, because the void is quite strange, and they said stuff about, well, time. What's there to say this ship came from the void, but in a different time? Or it's been here for who knows how long? Looks pretty fresh to me.
I imagine like Yara's been pretty much like glued to Sanha, just trying to leech heat off of her. But like she finally like unpeels and she's like, I can do an analysis. And she pulls out her leather-bound journal.
That's something that will take a good amount of time to do. That That's not an on-the-fly thing. That's sit down with a calculator, with a abacus, and run and crunch a lot of numbers.
So, like,
I mean, I
mostly
can
she's just gonna
also-
take notes.
Okay, yeah, standard, yeah. Observations. So, what are you doing?
I will head off the rowboat and go towards the ship first because security. And I'll head on to the other Sentinel and lower myself in to get a basic, like, first level scan look around, ocular pat down kind of thing of the place.
Doesn't take long, Oshan. You reach the side of the ship. You can see that there is a rope ladder hanging down the side that seems to not be that old and still intact, easy to climb. When you get up there to get a better look around the interior, you look down from the top deck into the main deck, the crew cabin. Same exact layout as your ship. You know exactly where it is. When you look down that ladder into the main deck, at the bottom, there is a human body.
Oh, snap. Okay. I take note of it. I don't touch it because who knows what could happen from it. Though I do head further down the ladder and then just I don't touch the body, but I just give it a good look over to see if, like, any identifying clothes, medals, badges, or anything that I could link to who could have been on this ship.
You climb down the ladder, Oshan. Respectfully step over the body that rests just at the bottom. And you start to look at it to get an idea of who this could be. The first thing that jumps out to you is that it's not alone. As you look around the crew deck, you count 6 more bodies. Some human, some column, a race called a Bawech. And you look at the body that lays at your feet now, and there is something that jumps out to you. Clutched in its hand is a jar. A simple glass jar with a cork stopper. The jar is full of seeds. And the label inked across it says Azure Savannah. And that's where we end tonight. I love the silent what the fuck I just got from Liv.
What?
Hey, Colin. So the people at
Yes,
home
ASMR
wanna
Liv.
know, what the fuck?
Inquiring minds want to know.
Man, look!
What the fuck?
If to get some fucking
Wally, get
sleep,
him in! Wally, get your boy!
man, if this dude made us go to a fucking planet for seeds, oh, Boy Scout. Talking about, I'm gonna sell my seeds to get a new bicycle.
Harvest Moon, Story of Seasons, fucking Monsanto looking ass, fucking collecting seeds ass.
Man, man,
Oh my god, Cat.
man.
Cleric
Fucking
reported in the
Eldritch
chat.
Stardew Valley shit here. What is this?
Claire Kapoor Cat in the chat said at least the body wasn't Zohar's, and that's 100% what I was
That's
fearing
where
you
my
would
mind
say.
went.
I was like,
Yes.
the only human person on the crew is me! Oh my god, what if I died in the past? Like,
I was
it
literally sitting here. I was like,
stressful.
"Is this us from the past? Are we in a time loop? What's happening?"
Exactly!
I'd understand.
Exactly.
Anyone that's ever... Some of you have played with me before, so I understand why your brain would go to, I know, it's time travel bullshit. It's gotta be. Because that's kind of a thing I do.
Because it usually
Yes,
is.
it is.
But...
I was there for the
Yeah.
last time travel bullshit you pulled.
My entire character in that
also,
campaign is time
though-
travel bullshit.
Like,
I hate
it's
it
possible, though, because of the way the void works,
Oh, you
it could
don't.
not be time travel, but space travel bullshit, because they're kind of the same thing.
Oh,
Doctor Who
boy.
looking ass.
For real.
Yeah.
Looking ass.
Dollar Tree, Dollar Tree,
that's
Doctor
right.
Who, called Doctor What?
Okay.
Doctor, what's up?
Come back to center. Come back to center.
You broke
Liv
Sel
has
on
another
that
show
one.
to get to. Liv has another show to get to. So let's get some final thoughts from Liv and some outro stuff before you gotta run. So let me ask first, what was your favorite bit? And then, where can we find you?
It's gotta be Stella dropping an emotional bomb on everyone, making everyone cry with the I wish you were my mom. Scamper off.
I wish you were my
Like
mom.
you can't. You literally threw a tear grenade. Like you're rude. Fucking rude.
You're rude. You're just rude.
You're yeah, and I love you. Oh man. But yes, I'm Liv. You can find me on Twitter at liveinaday, where you can see where I'm gonna pop up next. On Mondays, I am Under the Table with Total Party Chill. Under the Table is a indie TTRPG loving show that I do. We jump around from system to system. On Tuesdays, I'm supposed to be In Too Deep, but In Too Deep has had a very long accidental hiatus due to a couple of different things, but we will be back in 2 weeks. Yeah, we'll be back in 2 weeks. In Too Deep with Rule of Lore is an all LGBTQIA plus queer 5e campaign. We're playing Waterdeep Dragon Heist. Wednesdays, I'm here exploring the Black Void. I didn't realize that the Black Void was just a metaphor for my heart and therapy, but that's, I guess, just what we're doing. Every other Wednesday, I'm over on Off the Table playing Pasión de las Pasiones, which is a Powered by the Apocalypse system all about celebrating and recreating telenovelas. That's what I'm about to go run to do. That's what I'm running to go right now. But otherwise, I do a couple of different things. I'm in Super Idols RPG soon. I'm going to be released soon and making my debut. I've done Parliament of Owls. I got a couple of things, so yeah. But I will see you guys all later. I love you all very, very much. And this was a fun game. All right, goodbye. Mwah.
Hey, Liv. Oh, never mind. Did anybody catch where her next show is? I forgot to ask specifically what the name of the channel was. Yeah?
I got you.
I'd like to go right over there. So we can all go see Liv again. Okay.
I'm back.
Oh, hey, Liv. I just wanted to... I was just asking where your show is so I can raid over to you. I didn't catch the name of the channel.
Off the Table.
Off the Table? Off the Table. You got it.
I'll see you guys there. Okay,
right.
I'm leaving now. Goodbye.
Okay, bye-bye. All right, now she's gone. We can talk shit.
Like Liv, like, oh my
Just
god,
kidding.
I love her. Ugh, love her so
She
much.
is just,
God.
she
Yeah.
is just a delight to be around.
So great.
And
We only talk good shit about each other. That's the kind
Yeah.
of shit we talk.
She's like so nice, it's like annoying. You know? It's like, I hate how much I like her. What were we talking about?
I'm
Black Void, the
I was
game we all
gonna say,
play
I'm
together.
actually really glad we're friends because we talk about books every week and it's awesome.
You want to just screw debrief and just talk about how much we like each other? Let's see.
We should do that off stream. We should do debrief on stream.
That's part of debriefing. It's just telling everyone you appreciate them.
Oh, that's true. That's true.
Sorry, I made you cry.
It's
you're not.
okay. It was in the best way possible, but
It was the
that-
best cry possible.
It was a real good
did
cry.
not just hit Zohar. That actually hit like Anna IRL in the feels, and I was just like, thank you for that, because that was just brilliant, and the way that you delivered it, like everything about the way that you deliver Yara's like statements is my favorite thing. It's so good every time, just like the timing, the tone, everything. It's wonderful. It's really
Yara's-
Perfect drops.
Yeah, like everything Yara says, it's never anything. Everything you have Yara said is never wasted. Like everything
Exactly.
has like a purpose to what she's saying. Like especially like that part when she just went up to Zohar and said, "Yeah, I wish I had a mom like you." And that was it. Didn't explain herself. Didn't go deeper into it. Just said, "I wish I had a mom
Wish
like
you
you."
were
and
my
then walked
mom.
away. Yeah,
No, she
yeah.
Even
said,
more
"I
direct.
wish
I
you
wish
were
you
my
were my
mom."
Yeah, I wish you were my mom. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then she just left. No explanation, just straight to the point. And that is everything Yara does every time she speaks. It's just perfect.
Thank you. Oh
Yeah.
man, I'm gonna cry.
Yara don't waste words. Yara doesn't
Nope.
waste words, and I love her for it. It's very kind of. There's an actual like. There's a kind of like laconic wit to Yara that I love.
Mhm.
And her bluntness is actually very witty. She's a delight, and yeah, I think Godfather put it well. Yara only speaks when she has something of value to say. Like Yara knows. Yara knows where Yara knows where her input is needed, and will seize on those moments. It might take it a little long-winded because I just adore that that one of the last scenes there of Yara like giving the full like 20-minute explanation, like, and therefore it is not toxic, which is delightful.
It's
In conclusion,
if you
not poison. Anyway, I was just saying that part of debrief is like shaking off everything and just talking as people and not as characters, and just discussing, reframing the game. You know, when you're in it, and the moments feel extremely real. And now this is the moment where we take ourselves out of it and we talk about it for what it was, which was a game that we all played together, and none of it was real and none of it actually happened. And let's cut off all that character bleed. You know what I mean?
So one of the things that my sister, so whenever I play a game, like afterwards, I always end up like chatting with my sister about it and just like, oh, these are my favorite parts and stuff. And she put it very succinctly. She said, when you're playing like in the moment, you're reacting to things. And when you're out of the moment and reflecting on it, that's when you actually think about it. And you're like, okay, this is how I actually feel. Because the way that you react and the way you actually feel could be two totally different things.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah, totally. Absolutely. And you may totally reframe. Scenes may take on like totally different meaning to you that they didn't have from your gut reaction in the moment. I think there is sometimes there is with roleplay an assumption that first reaction, best reaction. That whatever you do, gut reaction is like what was the right thing to do. Because that's like what came naturally to you. And I actually don't think that's necessarily true. I have done plenty of roleplay something where I've done something with my gut reaction and then immediately or shortly after was like, that wasn't really in character, was it? That wasn't totally accurate. And a bit of going back and reflecting on the way your character behaves and the choices they made is good. And it's actually part of why I do these things at the end. Because I think it helps the role play. If we go back and look at everything we did and everything our characters did and discussed, you might find things with your own characters where you're like, what does that really mean? Let me reframe that, and it makes your role play better. Like analyzing your own games, I guess is what I'm saying, is actually a good habit to get into. It might feel a little bit pretentious in the beginning to like just watch yourself, like VODs of yourself, but it's kind of fun, to be honest with you. And if I enjoy playing with all these people so much that I love watching the VODs because I get to relive the whole experience all over again. It's incredibly fun.
It's also really, really good to like rewatch VODs of yourself because you might not realize like the kind of things that you are presenting and also what other people are, because it's impossible to look at every single part at the same time.
Mhm.
You kind of like, you know, beep up around, but having more context definitely helps you improve with like, because it's a group game, right? It's not just one on one.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, I mean, going back and seeing the way, that's actually a good way to gauge, like, when I said this thing, did it land? And you can go back and look at people's reactions. Was there any recognition, you know, when I dropped that plot bomb, did anybody actually give a shit? You might have felt like it worked a lot in the moment, and then it didn't, actually.
Or it could
So,
always be
yeah.
one of those cases of our initial reaction to the plot bomb was not the best reaction. And then next time we all play together, somebody's like, "I
That also
figured
happens
it
too,
out."
yeah.
That
Yeah.
happens a
Yeah,
lot, I've found, like, especially, I mean, from my perspective as a GM or as a player when we're like trying to solve a mystery in game, because you get so caught up in it and there's a million different things going on. Like, the GM might think that they are telegraphing something very obviously, but frequently it takes time for that to actually sink into the characters. And like, that's been one of my favorite things about playing Zohar, is it's a challenge for me because I don't normally, I'm the like Pepe Silvia like conspiracy board person, both as a player and as a character, and Zohar ain't smart enough to do that. So like, I think it was it
simple
was
woman.
exactly this. It was when Yara went and like carved the message into the bottom of the table. I literally typed in our green room chat for the cast, "Thank you, oh my god." Anna was screaming internally, "We should mark the ship somehow so that if we disappear, they'll know." But like, it would never occur to Zohar to do that. And so I'm just like, But yeah, sometimes the VOD watching helps you figure out mysteries, and then sometimes you get to the end of the VOD and you're like, "Colin, what the fuck? Again?"
I think for me, when it comes to watching VODs, it's also, and Stella touched on it. Touched on it perfectly. It's you hear yourself and how you present, and for me, it helps me figure out character voices, because I would listen to how I voiced Oshan at the beginning of this game, and now how I voice him now. It's totally different, because I was trying really hard to be that gruff soldier type, but I was like, no, he isn't that though. He's not really that. So as I more watched the VODs, I was like, okay, I like how I'm adding this with his voice, and I'm just going to keep on running with that because it just works. And also, I notice how people react to things he says using that voice. And if they view like it's all just checking out like how you present yourself, and you can build up on that and just make a better character that you're playing, also like presenting the character.
Yeah, no doubt. Yeah, totally. Like taking the time, to see if things land as a GM and as a player, absolutely. And like, I like that you said that, allowing you to make adjustments too, right? Like it's Navari's voice changed. Navari's voice does not sound like she did in the beginning. I toned down the asshole level on her voice purposely.
I noticed that
because
I noticed that.
Yeah.
Yep.
I was playing
There were
Navari.
a couple character decisions that we had made too, and then I don't know if it was correlation is not causation or what, and I was just like, oh, interesting.
Okay.
Maybe
I swear to you, this is in fact deliberate, because one thing I love about TTRPGs that you can do that you cannot do in like any other medium is that because my voice controls essentially our voices together, but I mean, as far as my job is setting scenes go, I control what's reality to you. If I tell you that the wall is red, the wall is red, right? If I tell you it suddenly turned to green, it suddenly turned to green. One thing you can do though that's really cool in TTRPGs is you can make people's subjective feelings manifest. So when y'all thought Navari was an asshole, I made her sound like more of an asshole. When you softened on her a little bit, I made her voice soften. Your perceptions are controlling the way that she is received by you, which is something that we actually do in real life all the time. There's like tons of research on this. That, like, people we like, we perceive as more attractive, even if there's no actual and people we don't like, we perceive as ugly. Like we do this. So I made, as you guys softened on Navari, I made her voice, the way she speaks and presents herself, soften as it goes. And I don't know. It's cool. It was a really fun little experiment to screw around with the way I presented her. So we should go see Liv. Liv is over on Off the Table, and she's going to be live in a few minutes. So stick around if you didn't get enough of your Live in a Day fix. We're going to go see her playing Pasión de las Pasiones over on Off the Table. But before we do, what? You mouthed something. What was that?
I was just mouthing Pasión de la Pasión.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Pasión de la Pasiones.
Mi corazón.
Corazón. Isabel.
Okay.
How dare
Let's
you?
do. You're killing me. Let's do our outros. If you have a favorite moment you'd like, since I gave this to Liv, you got a favorite moment you want to highlight, and then do your outros. Please do so. So let me start bottom right with Stella.
Hello. My name is Stella. I'm Stella Luna here on Twitch, Stella Luna TV on Twitter. I do TTRPG things. I like to run marathons. I basically, in a nutshell, like to introduce people to TTRPGs for the first time. If they've never played a TTRPG before, I want to show them what it's like. And I try to do it in a very thoughtful sort of way where we use safety tools, we consider accessibility tools as well, just to make it more fun and so that we can, make a game that is fun for other people as well. And my favorite part was all the emotions and awful stuff that happened in the beginning. I'm sorry, this sounds really awful, but I love everything that happened to Zohar. Yeah, it was very entertaining to watch. And I'm really glad it wasn't me, because I would have started ugly crying.
Just get some glasses. No one will ever know the difference.
I'm not crying, you're crying.
Yep.
All right. Well, since you just got added, Anna, your turn.
Yeah, I did. Hey, everybody. I'm Anna.
Yeah,
You can... The funny thing was, I was ready to cruise right past that, and then I heard Wally's voice, and I was like, and you got me!
Yeah, you did.
All right. So, who am I when I'm not Zohar? I'm Anna. You can find me at Nymeria941 pretty much everywhere on the internet, except on Twitch. I'm Nymeria Streams. I make games, I play games, mostly TTRPG type stuff or narrative games on my channel where we sit around, pet cute cats, and talk about how we feel. Let's see, where else can you find me this week? Tomorrow I am GMing the Parcelings game on Weave the Tale, which is right here, same time slot as Black Void. Probably gonna have a lot of big emotions there too, so I'm gonna do something nice and relaxing tonight to get ready for that. My Friday game is off, and then on Monday I will be over on Colin's channel playing some Monster of the Week with Wally as well, because Wally and I are in every game together, and everything is games with Wally, and it's super awesome because they are great. Wally is life. And I think that's pretty much everything else I have going on. I do have some exciting new game projects that I'm working on that I will get to announce in public and actually talk about them very soon. So just follow me on Twitter if you would like to hear about that as it develops.
And your favorite moment was?
Oh yeah, my favorite moment. It's just like, which blow to the emotional punching bag that is my heart was the best one. Mm-hmm. It was definitely Yara saying to Zohar, I wish you were my mom. Oh. Hands down.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know if I want to tell you which one was my favorite, but we'll get to that. Wally.
What's up, y'all? It's me, Wally, your non-binary slime best friend, who is also your tag team partner. That's right, we are the tag team champions. Me and you. We're tag team champions. We're going the long run, and we're going to defend our titles, and we're going to win. Oh, man, what was my... Well, let me first talk about what I'm doing. So, let's see. My Friday is... I have my normal Friday game in the afternoon. It's not happening. We're off this week. But at 8 p.m., actually, it's going to be 9 p.m. We're starting a little bit later than usual. At 9 p.m. over the Nomadic channel, playing the finale of our Starfinder finale. Our Ursa Major Starfinder finale is this week. We made it to the planet. We fought plant monsters, and now we're going into the temple to find out the origin of why all bears in outer space are uplifted bears. And oh boy, I feel like this is going to have a happy ending with a nice drama twist, because we've had way too much comedy, and we are now at, let's see, 56 bear puns. Yes, 56 bear puns over the course of the 4 episodes we have streamed. 56 bear puns. I am very proud of myself.
You're a monster.
Yes, we made the tardigrade. And then over on Monday nights, you'll find me over at Colonomicon playing some Monster of the Week with Anna and Colin. It's a lot of fun. Boy, I'm really not even sure what to say about it. You're just gonna have to come and check out and watch, because it's been a couple of episodes.
Yeah,
like I'm trying to
just
think
remember,
of what's wacky.
This game is me. The Black Void, but you just saw, this is me with a script. I don't have a script on Monday, so I get to just indulge all my worst impulses. So it's
oh yeah,
complete madness.
Oh yeah. I will say this: if you want to see me pick up Colin's character and call him the most adorable little boy ever, come watch Monster of the Week. That's all I'll say. If that's not a good reason to come tune in, I don't know what is. And then I'm back here on Wednesdays playing some Black Void.
My little pawsy wazies will be waiting for you. All right, that leaves only me. What's up, y'all? I am Colin. I have been your GM for the evening, and I really just want to say I appreciate everybody that stuck around, everyone that watched. I mean, we love an audience, and we absolutely couldn't do this without you. Thank you for all of the retweets. Thank you for all of the subs, which we had a good amount of today. We had 7. Thank you so much for that. Very, very sweet of you. And just thank you for being part of this. Our friend of the channel and longtime cast member here on Weave, Pope World Build, is fond of saying that you are as much of the show as we are, and he means it, and so do I. So thank you all so very much. As for me, coming up, let's see, this week, in addition to this show, on Friday, I have a talk show on my channel called the GM Postmortem. It's on at 7 o'clock on Friday, and our guest this week is Kate Bullock, the community manager over for Magpie Games. Wonderful person, and looking very much forward to chat with her. This Saturday, April 3rd, 8 p.m., I am running a Monster of the Week game that's going to be weird. I'm running this over on Laugh Love Lindy's channel. Friend of mine who I've played with on this channel before. And we came up with... She asked me if I wanted to run a Monster of the Week game, and I said yes. And then we got to session 0, and it was all so good that we decided to do something even crazier with it. A large part of the plot of this adventure involves these monster hunters who are part of like a Warcraft guild, basically, and they all game online with each other like all the time. So we are going to have in the real world, when we're in the real world, we're playing Monster of the Week, but when they all get together and play this video game, we play Quest. So we're doing a dual TTRPG setup here using Monster of the Week and Quest. And I'm so fucking excited for this. It's going to be ridiculous. In our made-up game called Guilds of Shadowcraft, which also just made an appearance in my Monster of the Week game on Monday. Because everything
totally
is a shared
hasn't
world.
caused any problems for us. totally
No problems
game.
at all.
Not
We're
causing
totally
any
fine.
issues. Oh yeah,
It's a
we're
fine game.
just
None.
peachy.
Also, I do one-shots every weekend, every Sunday at 7 p.m. I run a different one-shot on my channel. We call it One Shot Sunday. We unfortunately had to cancel the last one, but we'll be back this Sunday, April 4th, for what will be the 20th episode of One Shot Sunday. And this week's one-shot is The Happiest Apocalypse on Earth, a Powered by the Apocalypse game by the great Christopher Gray, who was one of our sponsors here on Weave the Tale. And it is a horror PBTA game set in a terrible version of Disney World. And if I haven't sold you on it yet, I don't know how I can. So, that is all for me. I want to say my favorite moment. This is selfish. This is very selfish, but I really did enjoy it a lot. Void Demon existential dread rant that I got to do in your brain was really fun to do. It's like just
cool.
express all of your just get out all of your first year, like freshman undergrad philosophy student whoa moments in the course of like a few minutes. Just universe doesn't care, man. That was really, really fun.
I really
It's probably a bad pattern that all the moments. Oh, go ahead.
I really liked that your filters broke and you had to choose a new one. That made it way more menacing
Oh.
too.
Yeah.
It really did. It really did.
It really
Like-
it just added to the whole thing of that the void is growing kind of thing. And oh gosh.
I'm like, maybe that's what I was thinking. Like, maybe I can justify this. It's like the creature is changing, so like that's why.
Yeah.
Sure. I don't know. I'll make something up.
Totally.
I mean, you got a new filter. I started putting metallic body paint on my hands every Wednesday afternoon. It just is what it is sometimes, you know?
I loved everything about that interaction. I love the way that the interactions between Zohar and the Void Entity have changed over the course of the series. They've really,
Mhm.
it's gotten more sinister. It
Mhm.
started angry, and then it reached this kind of state of calm and acceptance. With episode 1, it was very angry. Then it chilled out, and it was actually allegedly trying to protect you, and seemed to be kind of on your side. And it's just grown and snowballed and gotten more. Not even the thing is, what freaks me out about it, the way I like it, is that it's not angry. It's just doing what it do. It's there's no passion in this thing. It's just along for the ride, and that's interesting to me, at least. I get a kick out of that. So yeah, I think Existential Void Rant was probably my favorite. But there was a lot of great ones, and yes, absolutely, Yara breaking my heart with "I wish you were my mom." Come on. Oh.
Not sorry.
Okay, well, that is. I know you're not. It was wonderful. It was wonderful. You're wonderful. It was fantastic. All right, that is all. That is actually all. We're gonna get going. I'm going to stick around after I get out of here. We're gonna run the trailer for the channel, and then we're gonna raid over so we can go see Liv get all passionate over on Off the Table. So, thank you all for watching. We love you. Good night, everyone. We will see you next week for episode 8 of Black Void Into the Oblivious Depths. Bye bye.